trying to give that fight more of a, like, oh, it's going to be a good fight, but no. Roach is a decent fighter, but this ain't going to dog him. This ain't going to dog him. For sure.
Frank Martin, the last fighter Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out, believes Davis will have no trouble beating Lamont Roach in their upcoming rematch. Tank's going to handle him, Martin said during a recent interview with Ease News. Martin isn't the only one backing Davis. Other fighters who've lost to him, like Ryan Garcia and Rolando Raleigh Romero, are also showing their support. And it makes sense. When Davis wins, it reflects well on them. But if he loses, it raises questions about how strong they really were as opponents.
I believe that is. Because Tank is just too much like...
Well, Frank Martin got a response he probably didn't see coming, straight from Lamont Roach himself.
He's really fought Frank Martin. Frank Martin was inexperienced and nervous. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be a different fight when I'm in there. He's going to be a different fighter.
To be broken. And the fact that even though he's a good fighter, he's never been in the ring with a complete fighter like me. For them, especially the ones who don't know about boxing, you can suck it.
Before Lamont Roach fired back, Frank Martin made it clear how he sees things. From Martin's point of view, Roach is more of a minor obstacle than a real threat. He's not completely dismissing Roach's abilities. He admits the 29-year-old is tough and skilled enough to be mentioned among top fighters. Still, Martin expects Gervonta Davis to do more than just win. He believes Davis will dominate the fight and make Roach look bad. Roach is a decent fighter, Martin said, but Tank's going to run right through him.
You know, everybody pushing for the fight. I'm not fighting at 135 no more. I know he probably ain't gonna be at 135 for too long either, but I ain't gonna stay at 135. So we can do something at 140. I'm with it. You know, I'm all go. I'm a green light. So I wish him the best in his next fight. You know, you get the dub.
However, Lamont Roach Jr. isn't letting Frank Martin's comments slide. He made it clear he's bringing much more to the table than Martin ever did. With all due respect, I'm not Frank Martin, Roach said during an interview with Najee Grampus of Cigar Talk. Frank started boxing when he was, 15? For the record, Premier Boxing Champions lists Martin as having started at 17. Roach's message was simple: don't expect the same outcome this time around.
Just overall being something that he's not been in the ring with. I'm the total package, and honestly, sometimes I think he doubts himself. But I'm a competitor, and I feel like I'm the best. So I'm assured.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind when you hear him say that?
I ain't worried about that.
Frank Martin didn't have the experience he needed. Everyone saw that, Roach continued. And it's not like I'm just talking trash or anything. He simply wasn't ready to be in the ring with someone as skilled and experienced as Tank. Roach made it clear he sees himself on a completely different level. I've got the same skill set as Tank. I've got the same experience, the reflexes, the ability, and without a doubt, the ring IQ. So the real question is, why do people think I'll end up like those guys who didn't have what it takes?
I'm always looking for a knockout. No matter what, I'm always prepared for 12 rounds. But I'm always looking for a knockout, and if I get the chance, I'm going to try to knock his head off.
To be broken. And the fact that even though he's a good fighter, he's never been in the ring with a complete fighter like me. For them, especially the ones who don't know about boxing, you can suck it.
Before his first fight against Lamont Roach, Gervonta Tank Davis held an impressive record of 30 wins, no losses, and 28 knockouts. Only 2 fighters had ever gone the distance with him: German Mraz back in 2014, when Davis was just 9 fights into his pro career, and Isaac Pitbull Cruz in 2021. About Davis won by decision despite later revealing he had a hand injury. Roach isn't denying Davis's punching power.
The hardest puncher I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Okendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. How lie to you not? He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie.
I've been hit on the chin a few times, sure, but no one's ever dropped me, Roach said confidently. Nobody's ever seen me hurt in any fight. He also addressed a moment from his 2019 loss to Jamal Herring, when a counter right hook appeared to drop him. That was ruled a slip, Roach explained. The ref saw my foot come up and that I tripped, that's why it wasn't called a knockdown.
I feel like you got a certain confidence about this fight that I've interviewed a few different Tank opponents, and everybody gonna say like, yeah, you know, everybody say this, and that's what you're supposed to say, right? Like, I'm going into a fight, I don't think people thinking they're gonna lose, but it just feels like you have a different confidence than most other people. Where do you feel like that comes from?
That's just how I'm wired, bro. I I ain't never backed down from nothing. I damn sure ain't never wanted to come second to anything. So why would it change here?
While Lamont Roach is confident in his own skills, he also knows that Davis isn't without strengths. The few weaknesses I do know, I'll try to take advantage of, Roach said. It's not going to be easy, we all know he's a tough fighter. Roach doesn't just talk like he thinks he can win, he talks like he knows he will dot on August 16th, at Brooklyn's Barclays Center. Most fans packed into the arena will be expecting another knockout from Davis. But Roach is ready to surprise them, at least to some degree. Frank Martin acted the same way before their fight. Back in June 2024, Martin confidently waved a finger in Davis's face and promised to punish him come fight night. Unfortunately for Martin, things didn't turn out that way. In June, Frank Martin stepped into the ring at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas to challenge Gervonta Davis for the WBA lightweight title, hoping to become the first fighter to defeat Tank.
You know, with certain guys can create great fights at 140.
Man, honestly, you know, the last fight, even the fight before that, you know, before the last fight, I lost, you know, the weight cut, and then just too, you know, I'm getting bigger. You know, I got a lot of muscle, everybody know that. Just naturally, you know, like what.
The fight was close, with just 1 point separating them on the scorecards going into the 8th round. But in the end, Martin faced the same outcome as most who step into the ring with Davis. A powerful left hook sent Martin to the canvas, giving Tank an 8th round knockout and extending his undefeated record to 30-0. With 28 wins by stoppage. In a clip captured by Fight Hub TV, Martin shared his thoughts on Davis's knockout power, explaining why Tank wins so many fights that way. "He's got power," Martin said. "He does a great job landing that big shot. He knows exactly how to hit guys on the button and finish the fight. He's accurate and knows how to land the right punch at the right time."
Lifting weights and all that stuff, you know, I'm just naturally just my physique, just a strong stature. So I just feel like my last 2 weight cuts was real tough on me. You know, my last fight, I got tired, probably like my legs after getting tired in probably like the 5th round, you know, just from the weight cut and everything. So shit, I felt like my body shut down in that fight. So I was just like, I'm gonna just move up to 140 and go from there. You know, when I was an amateur, I fought at 141. When I turned professional, I went.
The win over Frank Martin was just the latest knockout victory for Gervonta Davis, the Baltimore native. He's also stopped top fighters like Ryan Garcia, Leo Santa Cruz, and Rolando Romero inside the distance. Martin challenged Davis for the WBA lightweight title at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas last June, hoping to be the first man to beat Tank. After losing by an 8th round stoppage, Martin knows exactly how dangerous and powerful Davis can be. With that experience, Martin isn't giving Lamont Roach much of a chance against Davis in their upcoming fight.
A lot's been made about Tank's power. How was his power to you? Was it really like devastating power?
I mean, he got power, you know what I mean, but it's more like he do a great job at landing this big shot. You know, he know how to land that shot. You know, hit guys on the button and just get him up out of there, you know, because he accurate.
Lamont Roach, who holds the 130-pound title, recently put his reign on hold to move up in weight. He's coming off a stoppage win over Fergal McCroy, and while that's impressive, it doesn't really change Frank Martin's mind about him. For the most part, Martin thinks Davis has bigger challenges ahead. The boxing world, and Martin himself, are eager to see Davis face top names like Shakur Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko, and a few others. Those are the fights everyone wants to see next.
I'm 35 and I was going to work my way back up, but I feel like I'm going to just be more comfortable at 41 now. I'm trying to come across hell at 140, so whoever want it, you know what I'm saying, come get it.
Yeah, I saw you put a tweet. It was something like, y'all going to have a long day in hell if you think, you know, you're going to touch some fighters up at 140. You know, I know that you want to fight all the top guys, right? And specifically the champions, right? Is there just kind of a fighter that appeals?
Before anything else, Davis has to get past Lamont Roach on March 1 ST. Their first fight was an instant classic, but it came with controversy. In the later rounds, Davis took a knee, which by the rules should have counted as a knockdown. Instead, referee Steve Willis let the fight go on without calling it, leading to a majority draw. For Roach, it was a tough result. He believed he had done enough to win. But hope returned when the New York State Athletic Commission began reviewing the fight. Even World Boxing Association President Gilberto J. Mendoza supported Roach's claim, saying the knee should have counted as a knockdown. With rumors swirling that the commission might overturn the decision, Roach's chances suddenly felt alive again.
AI crazy, but they been jumping lately too. Whole bunch of different stuff, man. I be laughing my ass off.
Ain't that the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that the truth? Speaking of, I seen Jalil Hackett's Twitter. He was talking about what possibly moving.